everybody, and welcome back to the Breakdown Tech. Today I'm going to be going over a $350 gaming PC build that, once you add a graphics card into it, will be able to play any and all modern games at 1080p, 60 FPS, medium to high settings. Now, out of the box, we won't have a graphics card here. We'll talk more about that later, but when you first get the system, you'll be able to downgrade to 720p and play most games at medium to high settings, 60 FPS. So that's great stuff there as well. I know everybody can't buy their entire system at once, so I wanted to make this video as a way to kind of allow you to get into PC gaming and then upgrade later on to a graphics card and still have an awesome system every step of the way. But first, I do want to remind you that if you're looking to buy any of the parts in this video, you can do so through the Amazon links in the description down below. If you go in there and buy through those links, it does help support our channel, so thank you very, very much for doing that in advance. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and jump on into this video. Now, if we're talking about using a processor, right, a CPU or an APU, to game on it for a little while before we add in our graphics card, we have to be talking AMD. And we are. We're specifically talking the Ryzen 3 2200G. This is going to be a great processor that will allow you to game at 720p medium to high settings while you're still waiting to buy your graphics card. And then when you buy your graphics card and convert this thing over to just doing straight CPU work, it is going to do amazing. That is where it's really going to start shining, allowing you to play any and all games that you want, allowing you to do any processing tasks that you want to do. It might take a little longer, sure, than like a Threadripper would or something, but it's going to get the job done, right? And that's what this CPU and GPU and this entire system is. It's going to get the job done when you're gaming and allow you to maybe do some little video production or CAD editing on the side if you want, but it's going to be slow when you're doing that. For gaming though, this is going to be incredible. It's going to be a super awesome system. For our motherboard, we're moving over to the MSI A320M BAZOOKA edition. This is an awesome motherboard that supports up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. It also has plenty of PCIe slots for Wi-Fi cards or graphics card later on and things of that nature, so that is great as well. Overall, this is going to be a solid budget motherboard for you and this system. Now, speaking of RAM, what are we doing with RAM? Well, APUs, and when you're just using one basically processor to your graphics processing and your like CPU processing, right? When you're doing that, you want to make sure you have fast dual channel RAM, right? So you want 2 RAM sticks and you want it to be a faster speed. So that's what we're going with here. We're going with 2 4GB sticks of Team Vulcan DDR4 3000 MHz RAM. This is going to be competent, and in the future it'll allow you to just buy 2 more 4GB sticks and upgrade to 16GB of RAM if you want to do that. But for gaming, most of the time all you're ever going to need is 8GB. You won't need that, but that's just what I would recommend for a modern system. A bare minimum is 8GB of RAM, and that's what we've got here. So you don't have to worry about upgrading your RAM in the future unless you just want to. So let's talk about upgrading. I think at this point I want to talk about our GPU. Now, this isn't included in the $350 price because we don't want that right now, right? Nvidia's about to announce brand new GPUs literally 2 weeks after this video comes out. We're expected to see new GPUs from Nvidia. Because of that, we don't want to buy a new one right now because the old ones are going to drop in price. And that's what we want to do. We want to let the old GPUs drop in price and then buy an Nvidia GeForce GTX 1060 6GB graphics card. This is going to be, for some, they're going to say it's a little bit of overkill, but I want overkill. I want the GPU on this system to be better than the processor because this is a gaming build. And that's what it will also allow you to do, like I said earlier, do a little bit of CAD editing or some video editing. That GPU power, because we're going with a 1060 here, and we can do that because we know it'll go down in price when the new GPUs are released very, very soon. So that is awesome stuff, and that's the GPU recommendation I recommend to you in this video. I would go ahead, buy everything but the GPU, and then wait a little while. You could even wait a couple months if you wanted to, while you're just saving up the money to then spend the money on this graphics card. But I will put a link down below if you want to save this video, come back to it, or whatever. That way you know what the recommendation is. There is a link down below to that. But I would not recommend buying it right out the gate. You can, but you don't have to. Nevertheless, that's our GPU. What about our storage? Well, we're going with a 1TB Western Digital Caviar Blue HDD. This is going to hold everything. At the end of the day, this is a budget build, so we don't want to go overkill and throw in a huge SSD here or do something like that. We just want a simple hard drive, and the Western Digital Caviar Blue is doing just that. It's also going to be pretty reliable. Western Digital is a super reliable hard drive brand, so there's no worries there. This will just be a solid hard drive for your games, your OS, and everything. And that's all there is to it. With all that out of the way, there's only two more things we need. We need a case and we need a power supply. For our case, we're going to the Rosewill FBM-01 Micro ATX case. This is going to be a super small form factor case, like the one behind me. It's not even as tall as the monitor, guys. Small form factor cases are great because they take up less space, but you will have less room to work in them, so that is a forewarning there. If you decide not to go with this case, I do have a list of 5 PC cases, all under $50. You can check that out at the eye right up there. But nevertheless, that is the case we're recommending here. What about our power supply? Well, as you guys know, I don't skimp on power supplies. I think there's one place in a system that you do not want to short yourself on. It's a power supply, because that's making everything work. So we're going with an EVGA BQ 600 watt 80 plus bronze certified semi-modular power supply. What that means is you won't have to use any of the cords that you don't need. You'll have some already built into the power supply, but let's say you don't need an extra hard drive cord, you only need one. Well, guess what? You're just going to be able to use one with a semi-modular power supply, but it's going to have everything you need, definitely, already on the power supply, like your motherboard power and your CPU power and things like that. So that's what we're going with here. This will be a competent power supply. It'll power your build well and well into the future, even after you add in a graphics card. So nevertheless, guys, that is the build. What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below. Feel free to start a discussion down there. If you think there would be something better fit for this system, let me know. But the goal, keep it under 350 bucks. Nevertheless, guys, again, my name is Nick. This has been The Breakdown. Give the video a thumbs up if it helped you out. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome tech build guides and things like that. I am out, guys. Peace.